Okay, this is how it looks when you walk into the office. We have the receptionist and bookkeeper with all the wonderful file cabinets, engineering, windows that look into the actual shop as I pair in. I believe Carl's office is on the left. On the right, I think, is a conference room. Walking straight into Richard as far as the ops manager, plant manager. There you go. And this is our break room. And okay, we are now at Tashjian Towers. This is the front building. This is actually the west side. For everybody, remember, this is a parking lot reserved for the boss, so do not park there. If I look on the west side of the building, you can see that there is a freeway, that's Highway 99, and a farm. Parking lot, so we're going to take a nice little walk around the parking lot, the perimeter of the building, so you know what's going on. I'm heading actually south. Now south has a thoroughfare, kind of like that, where the raw materials are stacked. There's parking, clearance, roll-up doors into the building, into the fabrication or the machine shop. And very important is that this is where the raw material is at. As you can see, it's neatly stacked. Use only when it's needed. There's not an overabundance of material. You do not want to have too much material because it's costly. What you want to do is you want to have just enough to do the job. And then there's a little bit of scrap, which is not too bad. As I walk, this again, the south side of the building. On the left side of the building, you'll see some towers already prefabricated, not prefabricated, actually fabricated. Fabricated means that it's almost ready to go. These are in stages. They're ready to be galvanized. Okay, see, these are the actual towers that are being fabricated with the flanges on the bottom. Nicely welded, nicely stretched out, perfectly designed so that when they put it up, it does the job. Now towers are tricky, I'm sorry. You just don't slap them up there. They got a hold because they're used for communications, and they are put in geographical locations where they have to withstand a lot of the, laws of God, nature, earthquakes, hurricanes, wherever. So they got to be. Now I'm facing east. As you can see, there's the sun. Okay, that's east, and it's got a nice clean yard. That's what they want to do. And if you're looking at the east side of the building, you can see there's 3 roll-up doors. Once again, we got some more raw material, and there's also maybe some prefabricated stuff right there. There's an entrance, a roll-up door that goes right into the place where everybody does the work. Now here's a piece of, it looks like a piece of the tower that's galvanized. You notice that it's got a silvery look. They got to be galvanized so that it can withstand the corrosion. It fights off the corrosion of what they call carbon steel. Next to a, looks like a transportation or a trucking firm. Got on this side, which is the north side, there's other types of material, not raw material used, but I believe they use this area for maybe some of the finished goods and pallets, stuff that's used inside the shop. Again, it's not messy, it's done. Try to keep the place 5S. You know what does 5S stand for, right? Sort what you need, discard what you don't need. Set in order, organize for efficiency, the 3-second rule. Then sweep and shine. Try to keep the place nice and clean. Standardize the process. Don't change the process. Try to keep it the same all the time. That's why we have SOPs, work instructions. Now again, going through the north, a nice long walk here for me. As you can see, there's more. Okay, this is another piece of the puzzle. Notice that it's galvanized. So they finish the thing and it goes to another shop. And it's galvanized. See, this is how it's not galvanized. See, what happens is it gets nice and rusty. Bins, there's delineators. Again, I'm facing west, and you can see Highway 99. And here's part of the air conditioning unit. Summertime, it gets nice and hot. We got garbage, and there's the gates. More parking lot. Actually, this is where we started. This is where we started. And then I'm gonna round the corner. Once again, I'm gonna round the corner. I'm at the northwest side, and I'm gonna make a nice turn. And there's the entrance. Once again, you can see the sign. Tashjian Towers. Okay. So that's the perimeter of the building. Hi there. Today is we're gonna go look at the shop. Now the shop is divided into three parts. Prefabrication, where they cut, chop, bend, so that they can make what they call stock keeping units to be put into the second phase, which is the welding or fabrication side. And then from there, then it goes into assembly. Three parts of the shop, once again, is the prefab. Second phase is the welding side or fabrication shop. And then the third phase is the assembly. So I'll be taking a video of the operation so that you'll have an understanding on how the towers are made here. Okay, so like I said, the company's divided into three basic parts. However, we start with the raw materials, which is on the south side of the building. You can see that they're in racks and that they're neatly piled. Okay, most of them are pipe, some of them are rods, and that's basically and then some flat bar. Those are the pretty much raw material. You'll be entering into a roll top garage. Okay, now we're going to be walking through. And then this is what we call the prefab. Prefab, this is where they get the raw materials, cut them up, chop them up, and then, you know, make flanges, drill holes, have them all prepped and ready so that they can be welded into the pre-assembly. You can see that this right here is that this is how say the rods were put. They'll be put into a bender, and they're bed into very specific designs. Now here's the machine shop. As you can see that they've got drill presses, we've got a lathe, tools. Okay, sorry. And then it's kind of quiet in here because I think it's break time. That's good because I can go ahead and do my thing without having to fight. See, you can see that there's they got some rods right there, steel rods, and it gets put into a bending machine, and then the machine goes ahead and just bends them to specifications. I'll have a specific SOP for that. Now we do have special machines and equipment that will cut the material to size. Okay, they require setup. As you can see, here are some more of the prefabricated pieces. See how they're cut. Now we have a plasma machine over here that cuts flat bar into what we call them the square pieces that makes the flange. Flange are the parts of the assembly. Okay, everybody's taking a nice little break here. Brakes are good. This is a the setup where they, as you can see, parts of the towers. As you can see, they put the tubing and the vent rods, and then they tack them down. There's more prefab pieces. Okay, this is the welding side. The welding or the fabrication side. We've got these particular jigs here that are used to put the prefabricated material. Okay. I'll be facing actually the west side of the shop. And then I'm going to swing around to what we call the final assembly, where the pieces are then reviewed for specifications. Sometimes they might have electrical or mechanical parts that are put in there, and then it gets shipped out to be galvanized. Galvanized is a process that retains the integrity of the carbon steel so that it can withstand a lot of the inclement weather changes and things like that. And then once it's all ready, then it gets shipped out. Then it goes out into construction. So the shop is, again, basically broken down into three three sections: prefabrication, the actual welding side or the fab side, and then assembly. Okay.